Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Unqualified Uprising. Tonight, we're going to get into the fastest growing, new, and shiny tourist destination. We are talking Planet Gaza, Gaza Hollywood, Vegas Gaza, whatever you want to call it, the Vegas Mandalay Gaza Bay. We're going to get into that and more. All on Unqualified Uprising, brought to you by Raytheon, Halliburton, and what other?
Raycon earbuds.
Yeah, and Raycon earbuds. And what else are we sponsored by? Love.
It's the starting lineup figures.
The starting lineup. I can't see who makes them.
I don't know.
Kenner, sponsored by Kenner. I love that. So, I am your host, Mike. I am joined in chair one by Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
It's
Joe.
It is Joe. Yeah. And bringing up the rear is producer Adam.
Hey, how's it going?
So, boys, when you're planning because since we're on Rumble, we are all millionaires. This podcast is blowing up. We have millions and millions and millions of listeners all over the planet. They speak different languages. They worship different gods, but they all come together under this umbrella of Unqualified Uprising on Rumble. So do you think all of our fans out there and us are contemplating our future trips to the newest vacation destination, Joe? What do you think about? Well, tell our listeners out there in the internet or in the ether, tell our listeners what I'm talking about. Because right now I'm just ranting like a crazy person about Gaza somehow being a vacation spot.
Well, Gaza is one of those places that every American who thinks that their country is not that good should go and see what it's like.
Go back to that. I need to see Audacity.
But, yeah, there were a couple of announcements that came out with the Trump administration where they went ahead and they said that they might take control of Gaza. It's something that he's thinking about doing. And there was some talk about what they would do with it if they take control of it. But the only reason he wants to, in my opinion, is because he wants to stop the fighting that's going on there, because he's not a fan of forever wars and continuous wars that go on forever, like the war in the Middle East.
Be more specific.
The war between the Israelis and the Palestinians.
There you go. Good job, Joe.
And the thing about it is that the war has been going on forever. It's been going on for thousands of years. So, I mean, if for some reason Trump were to occupy Gaza, some people are thinking that it still would happen. The war would still go on. It would just be the Palestinians would be in a different area. They wouldn't be in Gaza anymore because they'd have to leave. But they would still try to fight. I mean, he's not talking about getting rid of them, other than actually making them move out of Gaza. So they're going to be somewhere else wanting to do damage to Israel too. So you're not gonna get rid of it. You're just going to kind of move it to a different location.
Like garbage?
Pretty much. You know, I mean, if you're not incinerating garbage and you're just relocating it, it's still going to smell like garbage, you know.
Now, see how that analogy, I am not trying to describe the Palestinian people or the Israeli people, but Joe, that is a perfect analogy. What Ivy League college did you go to?
I didn't go to any of them.
What defense contractor do you go to? Or do you work for?
I don't work for any of them.
Why aren't you personally rebuilding democracy in Gaza? Because that seems like the best idea I've ever heard, or the best analogy I've ever heard. Garbage is still going to smell if you move it.
Yes.
That is. I listen. I'm not trying to pick on the Palestinians and the Israelis, but get the fuck over it. Get over it. Get over it. You don't like each other. Get over it. We understand. You dislike each other a lot. You're not sending each other Christmas cards. We get it. You're not a +1 at their wedding. I understand. You're not allowed to go to their version of fucking Ponderosa. I'm sorry, but get the fuck over it. You people are fighting over a 12 square mile patch of fucking dirt. Dirt and sand. That's all you're fighting over. That's it. It's ridiculous. And as a stupid average American, I'm pretty fucking sick of it. And I need to do something about it, which is complain about it on the internet. Because that's all I'm willing to do. I don't understand. If I don't like somebody, I don't talk to them. If I don't like somebody, I try to be as far away from them as I possibly can.
You're saying you're not going to launch missiles at them?
No, I don't want to launch missiles at them. I just don't want to talk to them. That's it. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to accept gifts from them. I don't want to be their secret Santa. I don't want to give them a ride to Walgreens. I don't want them in my life. Can't they just put up a giant fucking, they had a wall, that didn't work. So they need to put up a giant curtain or a giant sheet that goes 1,000 feet in the air so they can't see each other. Because obviously living next to each other ain't fucking working.
Or they should be forced to listen to Why Can't We Be Friends?
Great. That's even better. That's better than shooting each other. And you know what? We were debating this before we turned on the mics. Adam stuck to his guns. Listen, I don't want to be the world's policeman. I don't want to fucking be over there fighting a war for the millennia, just endless war, proxy wars here, proxy wars there, and I don't want to be America's policeman. I totally understand what he's saying, and everybody understands what he's saying because everybody says the same fucking thing. But Joe and I countered with, yes, but we can't just let the inmates run the asylum. And then Adam countered with, yes, you can't let people run rickshaw, which that's what's going to happen. So if we just let these people go back to their homes and go back to hating each other, in a year, we're going to be back there doing the same nonsense. And I'm tired of it.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, this actually, if you think about it, this actually happened already once. When we had 9/11, we went after the Taliban. We drove them out, and years later, they formed the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS.
Is that what that stands for?
Yeah,
I never knew that.
This happened. Yeah,
no, I know it happened. Obama killed the Taliban, and then they just scattered and became that shit, what you just said.
It makes me wonder why. I mean, if there's a way, I mean, and it doesn't seem like there is, other than getting rid of them, actually killing them. There's no way, if you drive them out of Gaza and you take that over or whatever, they're just going to form somewhere else and do the same crap.
Go ahead.
Maybe form a different group.
Okay, they'll form another group. They'd have to have some kind of country or whatever to be in. And say they go to a neighboring country and they go, they start formulating all this shit and coming up to be their group or whatever. And the country that they happen to be residing in puts a squash to it.
That could happen too.
Their neighbors don't want them. Egypt doesn't want them. None of them countries over there want the Palestinians because they're a fucking problem. Nobody wants to say it. I'll say it. I don't care.
That's
they
true.
are a problem. They've been a problem. I'm not butt kissing Israel either. They got a problem of a little bit of overkill. Like when the burglar comes in, you're supposed to shoot him until he's incapacitated. So what Israel's doing, when the burglar comes in, they take out their 9mm and they shoot him in the leg. Then they take out their shotgun, they shoot him in the chest. Then they go out back and get their Gatling gun and shoot him through the stomach. And then they go get their stealth bomber and they blow up the fucking house that the carcass is in. So Israel needs to pull it back a little bit and relax. Everybody needs to fucking relax. I'm sorry. This is that October 7th shit. I sat in my garage. I told you guys. I sat in my garage. I looked at my phone. I saw them scumbags parachuting over, and I said, man, I really should do this fucking podcast because maybe someday I can have some kind of impact on the world so this shit stops happening. I know the hubris in that, like I can fucking do anything, but I had to do something. I'm not going to go fight in the IDF. I'm not heading to fucking Palestine. No, thank you. And I'm not going to the Sudan to fight there. I'm not going anywhere to fight anywhere. I'll go to Mexico or Canada to fight. Okay, that's it. I'll fight in the Canada War, the Great War of 2026 in Canada. I'll fight them. That's about it. We shouldn't be fighting. And what are we going to do? So what are we going to do? Okay. Let me tell you something. When you need something fixed, and you need something fixed quick, who do you call? Number one ain't the fucking government. You call someone else. Yeah. The last person you should call is the government to get something done in a timely manner. Trump's got, I hear like all the pundits say Trump has 18 months of pure power. And then it's all like trying to get J.D. Vance elected. And it's all he's going to be, doing the pomp and circumstance to end his career as a politician because this is it, right? He's not running again, right?
I don't.
QAnon ain't right? Q, he ain't right. Trump's not running 6 more terms.
I think it's actually like 24 months because when the concern is about him losing power is when the House seats come up for grabs,
the midterms.
Which is in 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as they start politicking for the midterms, he ain't going to be able to get shit done. He's going to be over there politicking for you. He's going to be over there politicking for Adam.
That's true, yeah.
So the one guy on the Tim Pool show, the guy who sings for All That Remains, I think his name is Phil. Yeah, his name is. I think his name. Yeah, his name's Phil Abante. He's fucking smart as fuck. And I never listened to the music, but the music is probably great as well. I like Tim Pool's music. I like that fucking show. Thank you for turning me on to that. Shout out to fucking Tim Pool. I love definitely. Tim Pool. His show is awesome, and maybe someday this show could be a fucking sliver of what his show is. But he was talking about you can't. Oh, what the fuck did he say? I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. What exactly were we talking about? We were talking about how much time Trump has left of power. Phil Abante said he had 18 months of untethered power to get shit done, and after that, then it come the midterms, then come this shit, that bullshit, this bullshit, and he said this a month ago or 2 months. He might even said this 2 or 3 months ago. So, What could we possibly do to placate the Palestinians into liking the Israelis?
No, nothing.
The only way to do it is money. It's the only way you're gonna do it. You're gonna have to give them a don't hate the Jews allowance every fucking week. I don't know. Don't launch missiles at your neighbor.
Yeah.
Hey, you see that hospital over there? Put sick people in it, not grenades. I don't know I don't know. How do you bargain? How do you bargain with a madman? What do you want me to say? You're putting missiles in a hospital. You're obviously not well. You obviously don't have all the cards in the deck if you have a surface-to-air missile in the fucking oncology department. So I don't know what to say to these people. I don't know how to solve their problems. I'm sorry, every day you wake up, your life fucking sucks. Guess what? A lot of people's lives suck all over the world, not just yours. You people just continue to fight. And I say you people, and I mean you people, because it's 12-year-olds, it's 10-year-olds, it's 15-year-olds, it's 70-year-olds, it's women, men, probably non-binary if that's allowed over there. All of them are picking up guns and shooting at the fucking enemy, which is Israel and us. Stop. You need to stop, or you're gonna. I don't know what we can do. I don't know. I can tell you building the water slide ain't gonna help them.
A nice community pool.
It's been a very complex area for many, many years. There's been periods of less war. There's been periods of more war there, but it's never been peaceful over there for thousands of years.
And it's funny
when it comes to that, as far as taking the Gaza Strip and turning it into something else and kicking all the Palestinians out, there are places that they could go.
No, there's not.
I think there is. I think
Where?
I think they could go possibly to Iran or Iraq or something like that. I don't think they're not going to be anywhere near Israel. But I don't. I mean, look at where they went last time. They went to Iraq,
the desert for 40 years.
Yeah, I mean, and then they started bombing. They started bombing Israel again. I mean, it's just that they're not. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna kill them because it's inhumane. And it would be hard pressed to get another country to do it. So it's going to continue. And I don't think it's a good idea because it's inhumane. So I don't know what to do about it. I don't think there's an easy answer.
Well, I know one answer is not sending U.S. troops over there.
That's true
for Iraq. 20 plus years
ago.
No,
it didn't. And I also, and my opinion has changed on this too, because we were talking earlier, and I don't think that even occupying it would be good, because you'd kick them out of their area and then they would just have to reoccupy somewhere else.
And then there's another target, U.S. soldier or
That's
U.S.
true.
troops.
Yep. I agree with you. I really do.
So it's weird because all of us are right. It's a weird situation. And everybody out there in the Rumbleverse, like and subscribe and comment on Rumble. Say if we're full of shit or if you like us. Tell us you hate us. I don't care. Any kind of interaction is good interaction. The cameras are here. They are not running tonight because I haven't quite exactly figured it out. I mean, I could just turn on the computer camera and just do it with my dumb ass, but I want to get the guys and show off the rest of the crew. But it's a weird situation where every side is right. The side that says, make them live together peacefully is right. The side that says, shut down Israel and get them out of there is right. The side that says, shut down Palestinians or shut down the Palestinians and get them out of there, they're right. The people that say, bomb it into glass are right. Everybody's right. It's the weirdest situation on this fucking planet. It's not like it has nothing to do with we don't like these people. It has nothing to, nobody gives a shit about me. And no one gives a shit about anybody in Palestine as much as they claim that they do. They don't. Because they have been reporting a genocide for 20 years. And somehow the population has been increasing. Let me tell you, if Israel is doing a genocide on Palestine and the Gaza Strip, they're not doing a very good fucking job. Stop saying there's a genocide because your population continues to go up. Stop shooting missiles at your neighbor, and maybe your population will continue to expand. But no, you say, fuck it. I'll just throw a grenade over there because I don't like their ideology. and my religion is better than theirs. It's fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. If this was two kids in school, you would separate them. If this were two kids on the bus, you would separate them. If these were your two children, you would separate them. If these were two homeless people in the street fighting, you would call the police and the police would separate them. Why do we continue to let these arrogant fucking children fight over a 12 square mile patch of nothing? Sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I'm mad. Stupid. I don't want any American to die.
It is stupid, and there's a pattern that keeps coming up whenever this happens. It's always the Palestinians attacking and the Israelis retaliating to their attack.
And then the Palestinians whining that they're getting attacked after they attacked first.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Boo fucking who?
Yes. And, I don't... I mean, based on our history, we have thousands of years, all different things were tried. It's not easy to come up with a solution to it.
Should we get a giant Twister game over there and have them all play Twister together? Like what? People are mad because Trump said we're going to go into Gaza. We're going to level it. We're going to get all the Palestinians out of there. We're going to build nice houses and hotels and shit for them to live in and communities, and then they can come back and live peacefully. And everybody in America collectively said, why? Why are we doing this? Everyone that heard it in their car, everyone that was watching their television in their house said, well, I might as well just take my money and throw it out the fucking window because we're going to build the Gaza Riviera, and it's going to be in ruins in 6 fucking months from an RPG or a Claymore mine or from a missile made out of aluminum fucking tubes that they stole from the drinking water fucking factory, from the desalination plant. They took an aluminum tube. Yeah. So not only do they have no water, now they just launched a missile at a country that has our backing and a missile defense. Why don't you take your head and bang it into the wall? Because that's about the same extent of impact you're going to make on Israel by launching an aluminum tube missile that you stole from the desalination plant.
And it's a waste of our time because there's a lot of other things that we could be doing to help out America than this. He's got enough stuff he's doing. He's trying to get rid of the wokeness and cleaning up the government, government efficiency. He's still working on the other war that there is some room to work with.
We don't care. Nobody cares about that now.
The one
have you noticed
in
that?
Ukraine? Yeah, I haven't been hearing about it for whatever. And that's one we could actually probably work with. I mean, that one. When it comes to Putin, he's stopped Putin from doing stuff in his first term. So,
because they're buddies.
He probably could do it in his second term, too. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything about that war, and it's still going on.
Yeah, because if you recall, all of our Democratic friends would say he is a Russian asset or Putin's puppet.
I don't know about that. I think he was pretty hard on Putin when he was in office last time. He pretty much put the smack down and said, you do this, we're going to come after you. So then he was nice. Well, he didn't do anything. So
you know what?
That's all he wants. That's all he wants. That's all he wants is peace, and he's willing to exert power and stuff. But some of the stuff that, like when it comes to this with Gaza, some of this stuff is kind of dumb. Like this is dumb. Other things he's done in the past, like when he took a picture of the guy's house and sent it to him, Soleimani or whatever.
Yeah, that
was a good diplomatic strategy.
You know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I seen it.
That's great.
It's
for our listeners that don't know, President Trump met with the Taliban or ISIS or whoever, Soleimani, whatever that. What's his full name, Joe? Mahmoud Alabama Soleimani.
Soleimani, yeah.
Sure. So whatever, a Taliban guy. They had a meeting and Trump said, "Don't hurt a hair on any American's head, and if you do, you're gonna have a problem." And supposedly handed the guy a picture of his house, of Soleimani's house, like our satellites looking down on him, and walked out of the fucking room. If that is true, if a single iota of that is true, that is one of the most gangster mic drop. That's the highest level mic drop you could possibly do. And listen, yeah, I listen to rap music, but I'm not trying to use that term like I know anything of battle rapping. But I know they drop the mic at the end when you win, and Trump dropped the mic on that Soleimani guy, showing him a picture of his house.
Yes.
That is intimidation. That's, what does he call it? Peace through strength.
Yeah.
Now, I think Gaza and Israel together combined are America's crazy ex-girlfriend that we can't get rid of. That's what they like. They seem awesome. The sex is great for a while. Everything's great, really hot, fucking awesome. And then boom, keys your car, writes whore all over a lady that you work with fucking house because you brought some fucking. She brought you something home for fruit. She brought you food. She brought food to the office, and you brought some home for your wife and your for your fucking crazy Israeli girlfriend. And she punches you and kicks you and throws you out of the house because some old secretary made you some pot pie. Like that's what Israel and Gaza are right now. Our crazy ex-girlfriend that we can't get rid of. They've been warring or fighting. Egypt has fought them. Every Palestine, Iran, Iraq, every country for some reason over there does not like Israel. I can't explain it. They evidently, the old rip on the Jews, the Jews got all the money. Well, evidently they don't. If we're sending them money and weapons, they don't have all the money. So I must have missed. I must have missed when the Jews had all the money, because they evidently don't have all the money anymore. You see the way they fucking dress? They ain't got no money.
And we also got to figure out our relationships with these countries. Israel is our ally. They've been our ally and best friend.
What do they do for us?
Nothing. Nothing. No, other than the fact that they're
start trouble.
Well, the reason why it goes back hundreds of years because of the Christianity in America and the Christianity with Israel. That's where that whole thing started. But Gaza, for some reason, I don't know why this happens. I don't think it's going to happen under Trump, but we'll see. We give them money. We shouldn't be giving them any money, Gaza. We're not allies with them. We don't like what they're doing. They're a terrorist group with Hamas. We continue to give them money. Israel...
We give everybody money.
Israel is when it comes to defending themselves, will help them because they're our allies. That I kind of understand a little bit, but not with Gaza. You don't give Gaza anything. I mean, there's no reason to give them any money or anything. That's where they're getting all their bombs and stuff to throw at Israel.
I don't know how to solve this problem exactly diplomatic. I don't know how to do this in a nice way.
No.
There's a way to get this done. And it sucks, but there's a way to do it. And so you need access to food and water, mainly water. And you need access to the ocean. And I think if you figure out a way to, I don't think you can relocate anybody. But if you're going to relocate someone, you have to relocate the Palestinians. Because no offense, the Holocaust is a little bit worse than what's been going on. I think we know That's why Israel was created. It was created when? May 14th, 1948. We looked at that. It was like the Paris fucking Accords or whatever. For our younger viewers and listeners out there, the Jews had it rough for a little bit in the 40s. They had it pretty bad. Some things happened over there that were really, really fucking awful. Everyone knows what the Holocaust is or was, and it's probably the worst atrocity in the history of ever. I don't know. Maybe like the Mongols killing people, or the Khmer Rouge, whatever, with Pol Pot. I get it. They're in Stalin. Joseph Stalin, I think, killed more people than Hitler did, but you got to think of they were gassing people and lining people up to see how many bullets would go through them and putting people in train cars. These people suffered probably more than anybody. And we're not even talking about the fact they had to walk across the fucking desert for 40 years or whatever the fuck that nonsense was. So these people were a nomadic people, I believe, and they settled in Israel. Well, the state known as Israel now, on the Gaza Strip. Unfortunately, the Palestinians also have some form of religious claim to that area, or a historic claim. So what do? Do we go back in history and figure out who owns it? Well, guess what? It might not be the Israelites or the Palestinians. What if it turns out to be the Japanese for some strange reason, or it turns out to be the Russians? Or is Russia just going to go over there and sit there? So I don't know. I know they better cut it out. They really better cut it out, because people over here are starting to get frustrated. Because I get it. We are allies with Israel, but Israel has to stop. They got to stop with the fucking bombing everything. Just bomb their hospital that they put the bombs in. You don't have to bomb everything.
Schools and
they're bombing everything.
Yeah,
I get it. These people are all militants. I understand. But not every Palestinian wants the Jews eradicated. Not every Palestinian wants Israel not to exist. It's mainly the older male population of Palestinians that are under, I don't know what fucking religious right or Sharia law or whatever. I don't know what they're going by, but they're pretty fucking angry. And you'd be angry too if you had nothing, and what you did have just got hit by a fucking JDAM missile. So I get it. I understand you're frustrated. I get frustrated when the Amazon guy comes late. I understand we have different problems. My problems are unquantifiably less than yours.
Our first world problems.
We have first world problems, but I don't believe that the majority of Palestinians want to go over there and sing Kumbaya with the Israelites and have a nice old happy family. So these people are voting democratically, quote, I'm doing air quotes, they're democratically voting in Hamas. What am I supposed to do if you vote in the Terminator and then the Terminator turns around and shoots you? What am I supposed to say to you? If you build your house on top of a volcano and I tell you not to, and then your house falls into the volcano and you come to me and say, hey, give me that volcano insurance, and I say, no, I'm sorry. What am I supposed to say? I don't know how to answer these fucking problems. I don't know what the solution is. Americans are going to pretty soon just say, get rid of them all. We're sick of it. And I'm pretty sure the Egyptians and the fucking Iranians will be right along with that. They're probably ready for that right now. I don't know. Joe, you need to take the ball from me, because I'm going to bomb them. I'm going to bomb everybody.
Well,
look out, Canada.
Some ways that would help out a little bit. It may not fix the situation, but it'll help out a little. Is not paying Gaza any money, not giving Gaza any money.
They need those $50 million worth of condoms. They need them sex change operations, Joe.
And the same thing with Iran with the nuclear deal, with that. Because Iran and Gaza, they work together.
I don't want to cut you off, but to rebut what you had to say.
Oh, no. Okay.
Well, maybe they'd be less mad if they had those operations.
If they had sex change operations, you're right.
But yeah,
ahead,
that
that's a good point. Free sex changes for all Palestinians. Get on the sex train. You'll be fine. Get over it.
So yeah, I mean that's one of the things I could think of is not giving them money so they could buy weapons. When it comes to Gaza, Israel, just I would say as far as just try to stay on focused on peace, and if they if we want to back them if they get hit, if they get attacked by Gaza or by the Palestinians, we want to be there to help them out. But we shouldn't be giving Gaza, because it actually came out in the last administration that they were giving Gaza money and they were using the money to get weapons to hit Israel with, which makes no sense at all. They're not our ally. They're a terror group. Hamas is a terror group that's in Gaza. It makes no sense.
What
so
about
we're helping out with it. You know?
Listen, I think, you know what? I think we all missed it. You know who can fix this? You know who can fix this problem in between Israel and Palestine? You know who we should send?
Who?
The one group in America that we can send to Palestine specifically.
I think I know.
Yes,
I think I know too.
Yes, they can.
It's a society, right?
It's a fairly new society that I'm not sure exactly is going to go over very well in Palestine. But you know what? We should try. It's the good old Queers for Palestine movement. So here's what we're going to do. So I saw a bunch of people on the internet wearing them shirts and flags and running around screaming, Queers for Palestine, blah, blah, blah. So what we're going to do is we're going to find all them people, and we're going to, because, you know, they love Palestine. They'll do anything to support Palestine. So you know what? Why don't we get their boots on the ground in Palestine? So then they would be able to accomplish their goal from the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a big military jet. I think it's a C-130. We're going to get all the Queers for Palestine. We're going to get them all dressed up real nice in red outfits, very patriotic, a lot of bedazzle, maybe a couple, rhinestones, and we're going to get them on a C-130. We're going to take off from fucking Edwards fucking Air Force Base, and we're going to fly over to Palestine, and we're going to fly into the airport, and we're going to let them out. We're going to put them in like 12 or 15 pink Escalades, and we're going to send them into Palestine, and I think within 24 hours, this problem will be over. What do you think? What do you think, boys?
Yeah, I think that sounds
Queers for Palestine.
Sounds like a real good idea.
Let me tell you, if it's one thing the Palestinians love, it is sexuality and sexual individuality. Oh man, when I hear the word Palestine, all I see is LGBTQ, AFCGB 10, 11, pi. Like they're
all for it.
They are all for it, and so we'll send the Queers for Palestine over there, and we'll give them like a month budget, and we'll go over and get them in a month, and we'll see how they're doing. I think that could remedy the problem. Now, if you don't understand, this is a fucking bit, because you can't be gay in Palestine. You can't be LGBTQ in Palestine. You can't be 400 pounds and have blue hair and a septum ring and work at Starbucks in Palestine. They cut your fucking head off and they throw you off a building. Sorry.
You're dead, dead, dead.
You are dead. This podcast 100% supports LGBTQ. I have some of my closest friends, and I'm not doing my friend is gay fucking routine. But to be honest, a bunch of my really close friends are either gay or bi or whatever. They don't want to go to Palestine. They know what happens in Palestine. They know what happens in the Middle East. They know what happens in Dubai. You end up in a fucking suitcase. You end up in a hole in the desert. That's reality, folks. I'm sorry. I know. I know. It's shocking. It is shocking. They treat women just as fucking bad. They treat women just as badly. So, I mean, boo-hoo for Queers for Palestine, but how about women in Palestine? They don't even get to talk. I sometimes think the human race is getting dumber by the fucking minute. And when I see Queers for Palestine shirts or Feminism for Palestine shirts or LGBT Palestinians will be free, you're out of your fucking mind. Someone should take that hat, cut it in half, and strangle you with it. Because that's what's going to happen to you over there. Someone should take that shirt off you and fucking hit you with it like a towel, like snap you like a towel. You can't do that shit over there. You can't have free expression. You don't have freedom of speech. Go ahead, speak out against Hamas in Palestine. See how well that goes. In fact, come out there, go to Palestine, go up in your shithole apartment, put on a bunch of fucking S&M gear, put on your ball gag, and walk down Palestinian lane and see what fucking happens to you. You ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be bad. It's not gonna be good. Sorry. Reality sucks. I know. I wake up every day at 5:15 and I have dogs barking at me until 7 o'clock. Then I have humans barking at me. So get over it. Life is life. Learn how to live it. Stop trying to end everybody else's. Go ahead, Joe. You're okay. I'm sorry. I've been ranting. It's a heavy rant.
Well, I mean,
stupid.
If you look at like what was going on, not only with the Queers for Palestine for the last few years of the last presidential administration, but there was also the fact that they were having like the Kill the Jews protest at the college campuses, and that made me think that the Holocaust might still happen. Like 100 years ago, that mentality is what started the Holocaust, with people believing this stuff. You know, it's really scary.
Morons.
Because it's almost like we haven't learned anything from our history.
Well, if you know, there's a bunch of stupid college kids and their fucking dumbass professors that are all for free Palestine, from the river to the sea, or whatever the hell stupid saying is.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Yes. And they just fucking chant that shit. And if you got any individual one of them broken away from the group and asked them why they believe that, dollars to donuts, they cannot give you a valid reason why they are supporting that.
They can't, other than being told by some focus group that they should be.
And another stupid thing is the old rant that the Jews control the media. If the Jews controlled the media, they wouldn't be calling everybody Nazis at the drop of a fucking hat.
Exactly.
If I was a Jewish person and my fucking grandparents survived fucking World War II and survived the Holocaust, and some asshole, some fucking bald bimbo-looking bitch named Joy Reid was calling Trump a Nazi. If you think Trump is a Nazi, then what were the real Nazis? They must have been the super Nazis.
I mean, you also had Mr. Potato Head. I mean, there were a bunch of people
you can't call somebody that had. Okay, I think we talked on this podcast about Joe Biden sitting across the table from Vladimir Putin. And I wondered what Joe Biden was thinking, because he was sitting across the table from a world leader, someone in control of the third or fourth biggest, probably the biggest country in the world. Isn't Russia the biggest country in the world?
It's one of the biggest for
and
size.
The second or third biggest military. And the leader of that country has most likely killed people with his bare hands, strangled people with piano wire, shot them in the face. It is duly noted that Vladimir Putin worked for the KGB. The KGB, to our uninformed listeners, they were the secret police of the Soviet Union, the Russians, whatever you want to call it, the red fucking guys, whatever, Stalin, whatever you want to call it. The Circle of Accountability, as they called it in the Chernobyl fucking miniseries on HBO. But you could maybe call Putin a Nazi, and that would be way closer to actual Hitler. Because, it's rumored that Putin gassed his own people. It's rumored that Putin fucking bombed Belarus. And there's rumors that Putin, obviously Ukraine, that fucking nonsense. But I don't think Trump has killed anyone with his bare hands. I don't think Biden killed anybody with his bare hands. Maybe George Bush killed somebody with their hands, because George Bush worked in the CIA, the father, not the son. The son was an idiot. The son was great, but he was an idiot. Real funny. Probably the funniest president before Trump. But really think about that. You're calling Donald Trump a Nazi. The guy that was on The Apprentice, you are comparing him to probably one of the worst humans that's ever fucking lived. Donald Trump has not lived a long enough life to do all the horrible shit that you are basically saying that he did or wants done. I just don't. Every Jewish person on the fucking planet should die a little bit inside when they hear people calling Trump a Nazi. Why aren't there a million fucking Jewish people screaming out on Twitter or on X or on Facebook about MSNBC or fucking whatever these other commie networks calling Trump a Nazi at the drop? Trump farted. He's a Nazi. Trump drank a glass of water. He's a Nazi. Did you see Trump in the Rose Garden? He looked at a bee. He's a Nazi. It's stupid. It makes that word useless. That word's useless. Racism's useless. Diversity's useless. These words you call someone a fascist, you say they're misogynistic, they're probably going to look at you like, what? Okay, sure. How can you be, you don't understand what fascism is. You have no fucking idea. Look in your neighbor's garage. You see that shitty car he's got? You'll be driving that same car, and so will everybody else on your street. You see the potatoes that you'll be eating? Communism, socialism, fascism do not work. Please, for the love of God, stop calling Trump a Nazi. Unless you just want Republican rule for the rest of eternity. Because I'm not going to vote for anybody. If someone calls somebody a Nazi, I'm voting for the Nazi. Because no offense, usually the person that they're calling a Nazi isn't the Nazi. It's usually the person doing the calling. They're the bad people. If someone calls you racist, they're usually the racist. If someone calls you misogynistic, they're probably misogynistic way more than you.
You're saying it's a bunch of projection?
It is 1,000,000% projection. Don't forget, Donald Trump has to take pity and be aware of all the people that clean our toilets and clean our offices and pick our crops, because that's the only thing immigrants can do. My God. My God, I'm fucking seething with rage because these problems can be fixed with someone walking in there and going, stop, shut the fuck up and listen, stop. I don't care if you don't like him. Don't look at him. Well, he's touched me. I don't care if he touched you. Well, he's looking at me. I don't care if he looked at you. Fucking sit there or I'm turning this around and we're going back to Tallahassee. You're looking at me like you're amazed. I'm sorry.
No, well, I wanted to mention something. It's going to be a little bit off topic. Slightly.
Go ahead, Joe.
I'm noticing something new in this new Trump administration.
Something new.
That I'm finding really interesting.
Go ahead.
For some reason, he has this new desire to take land, like a king or a monarch.
Don't say that. CNN will be clipping that for the end of the fucking time.
But they already are. I mean, they've already called him a dictator, a Nazi, which is a joke, dictator, which is a joke. But he for some reason, he has this desire with not just with Gaza.
We're talking. I imagine you're talking Canada, Mexico,
but he's
Greenland.
talking about Canada making it the 51st state. He's serious about it. He's talking about Greenland. He's talking about the Panama Canal, which he's saying that the previous administrations made it so China's pretty much in charge of it and running it, and he wants it to go back to the United States controlling it. And then the Gulf of Mexico, he wants to switch to the Gulf of America. But I gotta tell you, I'm interested in his ideas. I think it's interesting. I mean, Greenland he wants because of rare earth, which he's starting to get from Ukraine now, because he said to Ukraine, look, we've given you all this money. We want rare earth minerals, but he also wants to use it for alternative energy, Greenland. I don't know if he's going to do that with the rare earth from Ukraine or not. It wasn't said whether he wanted to use that for energy or not. I know he wants to use some of the stuff in Greenland for that, but it's just interesting because Greenland is controlled by Denmark,
yes.
And then you have Canada and the French, and you have that whole controversy with that. But and he's right. We pretty much give Canada everything. I mean, if we didn't give them money, they'd be nude. I mean, they wouldn't have anything.
Canada is our ugly sister who can't get her life together.
I know, right?
That's it. And Mexico is our younger hot sister, but she can't get her life together either.
Also with Canada, I could see both sides of the aisle, the Democrats and the Republicans, both being okay with it, because Canada is very liberal. They're not that conservative. So, I mean, there's probably going to be people in the Congress that are going to say, oh, well, we could get some seats in Canada, and then if they make it like a 51st state or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. And the same thing with Greenland, I think they might have a better shot with Greenland than they do Canada because of all the stuff with the French. But I don't know. But they put a big thing in the New York Post about it, a big article about it. And they made him sound like he was just taking the land that, forcefully, like a dictator. And I don't think that's the case. I think he would try to do it as peacefully as possible. What do you think?
So, okay. Mexico. First of all, we are not going to take over Canada or Mexico. It'd be impossible, and I'm only talking about time frame, because I don't think America would mandate a war on Canada or Mexico within the time frame that Trump has. I mean, we're saying 18 months, 2 years, whatever, and I don't think the operation would be completed in 2 years or 1 year. If we went to war with Canada, it'd be a big problem because we would have a lot of people to fucking go to war with, and we'd have a big territory to try to cover. I think by Justin Trudeau's hand, Canada has turned into a hellscape for fucking conservatives or anybody that think there's two genders and it's not okay to do blackface. If you are against blackface, don't go to Canada because their leader did blackface and he'll put you in jail for saying that blackface is bad. I don't like Justin Trudeau. I have a very high respect for Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yeah, he's a psychologist.
Yes. And I think he's one of the smartest people on the fucking planet. and they are gonna, or already did, drag him in front of a human rights tribunal and tell him that he's required to use pronouns.
They already did that.
They
made
did
him
that?
go to re-education. Thing.
Yeah, they sent him to re-education camp. No. Nobody is going to re-education camp because, newsflash, assholes, that's what totalitarian weirdos fucking do. What is this, Clockwork Orange? I got to sit in front of a television screen with fucking needles holding my eyes open? This is insanity. I don't want anything to do with Canada. Mexico has some issues. The drugs are a big issue. And it's not just the drugs. It's the fact that the drugs have made so much money that the cartels have bought their way into every law enforcement tributary down there, even the local cops, in every form of government, whether, I don't know, Mexico has a president, I think. I don't know if they have a Congress or Senate. But I know that the cartel, since Pablo Escobar and the Medellin and all them guys have influenced and infiltrated the Mexican government. So I don't know. I know we just designated cartels as terrorist organizations, and if it starts to go off like that fucking movie Sicario with Benicio del Toro and Josh Brolin, we got some fucking problems coming, because it looked like an all-out war, and that was a movie. So I know movies obviously movies, take shit and turn it more suspenseful, and it's a dramatization, but we all know what the cartels do to people in Mexico. They put them in tires, put gas in the tires, and then light the tires on fire. Or you go out one night and you come back without your head. So we know that the cartels mean business. I think Canada would actually be easier to go to war with than Mexico.
I don't think he wants Mexico. He wants the Gulf of Mexico. He wants to change it to the Gulf of America. That's what he said. I don't think he wants Mexico. He thinks Canada should be the 51st state.
Well, and you also said Greenland. Greenland has like a native population of 60 to 68,000 people.
There's not too many people.
They're all pretty much on board. I think it's a fairly desolate place, right?
Yeah.
And Trump wants to bring, the deep well oil drillers and all the oil and the rare earth minerals you were talking about. He's talking about cobalt, zinc, and the rest of the shit they need for the cell phones. Whatever they need for cell phones, Greenland has it.
But if he could do that, if he changes the map, like gets Greenland or maybe gets Canada, I mean, he'll be remembered forever.
Oh, he'll be remembered forever already. Because at least in my lifetime, and I'm just going to speak for you guys too, because we're all around the same age. Adam is the baby of the group, but we're all around the age of 40. No president, including I think George Herbert Bush was the first one that I actually remember, but I was alive during Reagan. He was president in the 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, the whole
80s,
decade.
what, from 80 to 88?
80,
he was the president.
80 to 88.
And then George Bush was the president.
Yeah.
So I don't remember a lot of Reagan. I was very young, but I know he was well-liked and well-remembered and well-respected. And I know George Herbert Bush? Yeah. He did Desert Storm, and I know it's not that he was super popular, but he wasn't a train wreck. But I don't remember, and Clinton did, what Clinton did, and George W. Bush had a shoe thrown at him, and I get it, he was a big Texan idiot, but I don't think any of them combined did as much as Trump has done in 2 fucking weeks. In the history of government.
It's absolutely amazing. He's exceeding my expectations by like tenfold. It's incredible.
Just by policy, we are talking George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, like all combined in one fail sweep of executive orders. Like I feel like the whole Continental Congress couldn't do this many executive orders. I feel like if you dug up President Lincoln, this shit didn't happen when he took off. It's just amazing to me that it seems like a lot has changed and necessarily not affected our lives, but we don't live in any of these war-torn countries, or we don't live in Chicago, and we don't live near the border. But me specifically, I was sitting at a traffic light, and I watched 14 border enforcement blazers, or I think they were Suburbans, go flying through the light, and after them, it was 10 or 11 unmarked Ford F-150s with all the same. It was a whole regiment of fucking vehicles, and they headed up towards fucking Saratoga, and they were probably going north. So it's happening. It's happening everywhere.
It happened in Buffalo.
It happened in Buffalo. It happened in Rochester. It's happening in Boston and Chicago. It's happening everywhere. And I guess, since we already solved Israel and Palestine, I leave our viewers and our listeners with one final question. And I'll ask you boys this. And I want you each to give your own answer. Mm-hmm. So we'll go to Joe first. Oh, okay. Joe, if America is so terrible, if America sucks so bad, if Donald Trump is such a Nazi, fascist, mega dictator, why does every motherfucker want to come here? That's my question. If we suck so much, why is everybody scrambling to fucking knock down our walls and get in here? Any answer?
Well, because they like what America stands for, and some of them probably are Trump fans, and some of them aren't, but they definitely like the America and it being free. China, for example, people that are Asian, they're coming in from China, they actually are going from communism to more free society, and they want to do that. There's a lot of people that go to college here. They love it, and then they end up coming here full time. They're on a visa, so that way they could go to school here, and that happens a lot. So it's just the American dream and the American ideology, the American dream, the freedom, what the founding principles of the country.
Okay, I'll stop you there. So I'll ask you the same question, Adam. If America sucks so bad, if Donald Trump is such a turbo fucking fascist, why do all these assholes want to come here?
It's less hostile than the shithole that they probably came from.
Okay.
And like Joe mentioned, opportunities that they may or may not have been given the ability to be afforded in their own country.
Okay, I'll stop you there. So you boys are both right, and I feel like you missed one major point, but I feel like you both touched on the same thing I'm going to say. People want to come here because, like producer Adam said, their country is a shithole, and their main thought every day is how they're going to get water and food to survive. Now, Joe's right with another reason why people want to come here is the American dream, the white picket fence, the apple pie on the fucking on the mantle, and you walk by and you smell it, and it's fresh cut grass, and the dog is barking and the birds are chirping. But the one thing that's funny is if you turn on the media, any other media except Fox News, America is the worst place on earth, and no one should come here. But if they do come here, we need to let them in, no questions asked. Don't ask them for their ID. Don't ask them if they were a child molester or a rapist or a murderer or Satan or the devil incarnate. Don't ask them that. But America is not the greatest country in the world. We are trying very hard to be the greatest country in the world. We are succeeding a lot more than the rest of the world is. China is a slavery-ridden hellscape. What do you want to live in the fucking Sudan? where your major worry is whether or not you're going to have a head at the end of the day. You want to go to Ethiopia where they make fucking cow shit in the food? You want to live there? Go ahead. That sounds great. Sounds great. You want to go to Egypt? Get shot at the pyramids? Like, what? I want everybody that wants to come here to come here. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you necessarily believe. As long as you come here and you're willing to assimilate a little tiny bit and do what Joe said. Try to get the American dream. Do what Adam said. Realize you came from a war-torn fucking shitbox country, and now you're in the greatest country in the world. And you better start realizing that, because eventually either this country's going to fail or we're going to succeed. And if we fail, the world is in big trouble. Really big trouble. But if we succeed, it's going to take all of us. So everyone's kind of got to shut the fuck up and start moving in some semblance of reality. Put the best pilot in charge of the plane, or they're going to start falling out of the fucking skies. This has been Unqualified Uprising. Joe, thank you very much for joining us.
Yep, you're welcome.
Adam, as always, you produced another winner.
A banger.
A banger. And I've been your host, Mike, ranting like a fucking madman, but I'm over it. It's time to get this country back on track. Stop worrying about everybody else like the fucking nervous nanny neighbor, and get back to just being kind of like the normal family. Just let's be normal. Let's try being normal for a little bit and just take it easy and relax. Next time on Unqualified Uprising, we will talk more about the future of the Gaza Strip and the possible amusement parks, casinos, and maybe even a Dave and Buster. I'll see you next time. This has been Mike for Unqualified Uprising.